another episode of Gaming with a Point. Episode 4.
We are.
Episode 4. This is going great so far. I'm very happy with how things are going.
I agree. I
don't
think
know
it's
about
been a
you,
great
but
time.
I think it's going really well. Again, if you're new, this is a podcast where we discuss various different topics about dealing with the adult world from a boomer's perspective, aka Brian, and a Gen Z's perspective, aka me. And we just talk about random things that we want to talk about, things we're passionate about, just things that we have a decent amount of knowledge in where we can actually talk about it. And today we have a very special guest. Brian, I will allow you to introduce this guest for today's episode.
1 sec. Let me go to my live scene so you can actually see who it is. It's my other half, my wife, Karina.
Hi.
So, yeah.
Karina.
Hi, Gustavo. How are you today?
So, yeah,
I'm
today
doing
we're
great.
going to be talking about relationships and stuff. So, I thought, who better to have than the relationship I have? So, yeah. With that, Karina and I will be playing Animal Crossing. I'm not very far in the game or anything. She's got a lot of cooler stuff. So we're going to check out her island a little more. But before we get into that, Gustavo, how's your week?
My week was, it was okay. You know how my week usually goes. It's work and school and work and school. But I think I had a pretty decent week.
That's good.
I think it's okay to talk about it now, but I got promoted again.
Nice.
I went from a lead position to a supervisor position. So I've been trying to adjust and make sure I'm doing things right. And so far it's going pretty good. So I think my week went okay.
Karina, how's your week?
My week's been pretty interesting. For those who don't know, I'm a supervisor over at Burn Dairy. It's basically just being a glorified babysitter, making sure everyone's doing their job, making sure people go on their breaks and everything else, making sure the store runs as smoothly as possible. I actually cleaned the fryer by myself for the first time, and this is only my second time doing it, but it wasn't as terrifying as I thought it'd be, but it's still pretty interesting learning something new, even though I've been there for 2 years. But nothing eventful really happened this week, so it's like I was there.
It's just another one of those weeks.
Definitely.
And then for me, I kind of my week was actually extremely uneventful. At least it's better than last time. I mean, my island is poo-poo right now, so I would not say you want to see my island. Poo-poo, if I'm being honest. My island does have a wonderful name, though. It is called Baby Yoda.
God.
It was right when The Mandalorian was coming out.
Okay.
Or right when I started watching it. But yeah, as we kind of talked about earlier, this week we're kind of talking relationships. And, so, question, Karina. Can I tell the actual way we met, or do you want me to give the way you prefer me to tell it? Or you prefer to tell me?
You might as well actually go with it.
Cool. I knew if I said that, I could get away with it.
At this point, pretty much everyone knows, so...
So actually, so Karina and I went to high school together. I had actually moved from Phoenix High School to Oswego for about 6 months, and during that time, Karina had moved to Phoenix. So she ended up meeting a lot of my friend group and stuff, but never meeting me. And then suddenly, I showed up one day, and so she kind of was surprised because she had never seen me before, and literally fell out of her seat, missing it. And I've always picked on her, saying she literally fell for me, and she always hates when I tell the story that way. But
I hate it when
I
you tell a
absolutely love
certain
it.
way. Because that's actually the explained version. You don't actually explain it sometimes.
No, I usually just say you fall for me.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Because literally, this was I think it was a week after Valentine's Day. Maybe 2 weeks after Valentine's Day. And I had already gotten acclimated. So it's like, okay, I have my group of friends. Which just so happened to be the Nerdum. And I obviously got my food, set the tray down. And when I hear something new, I automatically, like, gravitate towards it. So I missed the seat entirely. And that literally how it happened.
So it's hilarious for me.
Obviously.
But yeah. No. So that's how Corinne and I actually met. We've been together now going on 6 years. We've been married for 3.
God damn. Congratulations, guys.
So actually the funny thing is so many people will say, because actually when we first got together we actually didn't have as much in common as we do now.
No.
Actually the funny thing was Karina had never played any of the Pokemon games.
No. I didn't even know Pokemon existed.
She didn't really play any video games.
What?
Yep. The only she knew Marvel comics and stuff. She knew the movies.
Mm-hmm.
She was not big into comics. She didn't really get into much anime. She loved Sailor Moon as a kid, but she didn't really watch any other stuff until we got together. I kind of got her into some other stuff that I was interested in, and that kind of has helped our relationship in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
It was very much more so our relationship was kind of like we worked together, but it was never like we are the same person, and it's still not, because that's not a healthy way to look at relationships. Is because two of the same exact people isn't exactly great. But yeah, so our kind of relationship goes with we do stuff together. Like we have certain games we do play together. Obviously, if you've been on the channel long enough, you've seen us play Phasmophobia. And by us play Phasmophobia, I mean me hide in the truck while she goes and deals with the ghosts.
And gets killed all the time.
Yeah, you die a lot. Or what are some of the other games we play together? We played Three Houses together when that came out.
Yep.
We played it parallel because we literally got into literal almost fights over who got to play it for the first day.
Yes and no. Like, I wanted to try it, but obviously you
playing.
knew of the world long before I did. So you kind of got first dibs. But I'm just like, as soon as
I was at work
as soon as he went home, I told him to see what the hullabaloo was all about.
and then she did not put it down. So I had to get it digitally for myself. And the funny thing is the opposite actually happened with Animal Crossing. Was we had gotten it, and I played it every now and then, but I had to go to work. And Karina had the day off and you were on vacation.
Yes, because that was as coronavirus came for the first time.
Hey, thanks for the follow, Kitty.
And I had taken that week off because we were supposed to go to Toricon. Which is an anime convention that Brian has gone to for like how many years now?
Going my junior year.
So a lot longer than I even knew. Again, I knew nothing about all of that. And that was gonna be my 3rd year going.
Yep, this was the 3rd time.
This year would have been 4th time. But yeah, it was supposed to be the 3rd time going. And it got canceled like the last week ahead. And so I'd originally taken that week off. We were going and I wanted to be prepared for it. Because you're never fully prepared for cons.
Speaking of, hello fur baby.
Right?
Ember.
Going for a sticker. So he was at work and I was playing Animal Crossing, getting totally into it.
Yeah, so ended up she would not yet again she would not put it down, so I ended up stealing it and she got it digitally, which actually ended up better because she really enjoys the game. Where like Fire Emblem, I used to like to play it on the go, especially like on campus and stuff. So that ended up working out There's other games that we both had to get separately. Like, obviously, Pokemon Sword and Shield. We always get the Pokemon games. We always get them opposite of each other. She was warned if she wants to play Pokemon Snap the first few days it comes out, she needs to get her own copy. Because I will not be sharing that. No, you think I'm kidding, dude. I have waited too damn long for this game. I am so excited for Pokemon Snap. Cam, if you're still in chat right now, we are going to figure out something to do Pokemon Snap. Speaking of Pokemon Days next week. So excited.
When is it? When is it?
The 27th. Literally next Saturday. AKA the next episode. That's part of the reason why we do Pokemon next week. I know what I mean. But yeah.
You know what time?
What, we're going to announce shit? No. Pokemon announce that beforehand? Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, continuing on. But yeah, so, because actually, so, spoiler alert, so I know I've kind of talked a little bit about my passing on this channel. I'm not going to get into it today. That's definitely going to be its own episode. But does know most of my past. Knows a lot of the bad shit I've done. So that's why it kind of came down to, like, when we were kind of starting to get together, I needed somebody who knew my past to understand that, especially because, like, I was still recovering from it and making sure I was going to be okay. Because for a long time I wasn't. So having somebody who didn't know it when a flare-up happened, it would be awkward because, like, it would end up, I don't know how to say this properly. It would probably wreck a relationship with somebody who doesn't know it when part of my past comes back to haunt me. Where, like, I already knew my past and the shitty things I did. So it made it easier for our relationship because it wasn't like, well, actually, tell you absolutely everything you know. It was, I know what you did. I know you're trying to get better. And that's kind of how it was for me, and that's why it kind of, because, like, a lot of people were wondering, because, as I said, I was a shitty person for a long time, and why I settled down when I did. Just not doing okay anymore, and Karina helped me with a lot of that. So, kind of on my end, right? Karina, you want to talk about your end of that part of our history?
So yeah, I knew everything that he had gone through, and Brian kind of knew everything that I had gone through, relationship-wise. Me, I was the very just shy person, still am. And relationships didn't really come easy for me, and when they did, it was always very messed up, and I was taken advantage of, leaving me just very emotionally scarred myself in different ways than him. About the time that it was like maybe a year and a half before we had gotten together, I had gone through a very, I don't want to say toxic because it wasn't toxic, it was more than toxic. It was straight abusive, and this person had twisted my views of a lot of things, and when I could finally get out of that relationship, things.
Nerd culture.
Not just nerd culture, just being able to have friends again. Because I was very closed off when he and I finally started talking again. Because we had not talked. And honestly, it was just random that we started talking again.
Yeah, I had just gotten out of. So my relationship before Karina was not great. I'm not gonna completely blame her. It was also me. 100%. I know that. I look at myself and know the shitty things I did. But at the same time, they were very controlling and very. Not saying they didn't have every right to. I was not a good person at the time. So I cannot say anything for their actions because they weren't helping me heal. So I was just angry for a very long time. So while I don't like to call them like that, because it wasn't entirely, I wasn't ready to face it yet. I was still, as I talked about previously, I was still dealing with my alcoholism. I was drinking daily. So I was in a very bad place when Karina and I first got back to talking to the point where so I had gotten out of the military about 6 months before that, and it had gotten really hard for a while that I just did not. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with my life, much less if I even wanted one. So I was in a very dark place. So when I screwed up my relationship I was in at the time, whether or not it was for the better or not, a whole other animal, but I screwed it up completely. And I was just in a very dark place doing some things I definitely should not have been doing. But yeah, so Crane and I kind of started talking, kind of got back to kind of talking how we were and stuff, and moved quickly from there. Because had been friends for years, and just helping each other heal together was a nice combination.
A lot of it, I think, started out as like comfort, like comforting each other and just saying, "Hey, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna make it through life." And it kind of quickly but slowly.
Go ahead. Oh, man.
Quickly and slowly kind of blossomed into where we are today. Because a lot of people do say that we kind of moved our relationship a little too fast.
Mm-hmm. Of course,
Because
a lot of people think that we are a lot younger than we actually are. If I'm being honest. Like, even today, I was asked earlier, because I was saying I was picking up something for my wife. They're like, "You're married?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "You're so young." I'm like, "I'm 27. And they're like, "Oh, I thought you were like 20. I'm like, "No."
yeah.
Fine boomer.
I get that all the time at work because they're like, "I need to speak to a supervisor," and I come up, "You're too young to be a supervisor." "How old do you think I am?" "Like 18. Thanks for the compliment, but I'm 26.
Right.
Wait, Karina, you're 26 too?
Yeah?
That should be 27 soon.
Yeah, I'll be turning 27 in May.
I did not, even think about your age. So, this is news to me.
Yeah, because she technically was a grade younger than me.
Technically, I failed 6th grade.
Yeah.
So I was a grade behind him. We're like, what, 5 months apart?
Yeah. 4 months. 4 months and 7 days. I also know the exact age difference between me and my brother. It's a year, 9 months, and 5 days. No,
I already did.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. But yeah, so... what do you think is, the biggest difference between us as individuals.
Our personalities.
Yeah. So, as I'm sure a lot
from
of...
the outside, I see you being very extroverted, being very, very introverted.
Oh, extremely. I am very much... So, one of my favorite memes to still show online or
Yep.
local, to show Korean is the picture of Aizawa and Present Mike, where it says, introverts don't make friends. They get adopted by an extrovert and just make their friend groups from there.
Yeah,
That's exactly how it happens.
definitely.
So I am very much the Present Mike to our relationship. I am very much an extrovert, which is actually really funny because if anyone knew me from before I moved to Paris when I lived in Fulton, you would probably not even believe that I was the same person because I was just so guarded and so not who I am today. Talking.
Oh, I
I remember the first time I met Karina, and it was very, very awkward.
Yeah.
It was basically, we were in a room together, we were alone, and it was basically, hi, oh, you're Brian's wife? Oh, cool. And we just stood there just waiting for you to get
When
there.
did you
I met her, I can't remember exactly what it was.
Probably Pokemon. I think that's the only one I ever forced Karina to go to.
Yeah.
Because I tried to get her to go to Rocky Horror, but she said no.
I think I also had to work.
Oh yeah, you did have to work Halloween, I forgot.
Yeah,
But, yeah, no, so that's probably another big thing we're very different on, is our movie taste
yes.
and stuff.
Yes.
Because, like, there's certain movies we are very much, similar on. Okay, our favorite movie is Princess Bride, we share that. We love, God, why can't I think of it? We love Nightmare Before Christmas, and pretty much any of Tim Burton's movies that aren't Beetlejuice. I do not like Beetlejuice, spoiler alert.
Gosh dang.
I do not like Beetlejuice. I like a lot of funny comedies that she doesn't like. She's not a fan of, like, toilet humor. She doesn't like Family Guy and stuff like that.
I love shit like that.
Yeah, she does not. It's very much something, if I want to watch it, Karina can't be home and stuff because she just gets annoyed by it because she thinks it's so dumb.
It's dumb. It makes no sense. And
That's
I
what
like
makes it
continuity
great.
with my shows.
Yeah, she watches the same shows over and over. Like, how many times have you watched Golden Girls? Be honest.
All the way through?
Yes.
At least 6 times.
How many times have you watched Addams Family all the way through?
Honestly, 3 because I always end up going back and just listening to it as background noise.
Yeah, so that's where Karina and I usually have our biggest problem with starting new shows. Is a lot of it ends up being background noise because we don't sit there and actually watch things. Currently, we're watching WandaVision. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Promise. No spoilers. I'm not going to talk about that here. But that's our current watch show. You've caught a couple of tail ends of my shows as you're coming home that have made you end up watching at least a little bit of it, like Umbrella Academy and The Mandalorian. I think the other big one that you were watching with me that started as you not even paying attention was My Hero and Food Wars.
Yes. Food Wars was kind of a surprise to me because
You could not get over the sexual
I could not get
stuff
over it.
for the longest time. You could not. But once you start seeing the food and the fact that
Yeah.
they were actually like putting a lot of work into like the food and stuff, and it wasn't just a sexualized thing.
It's not hentai,
Yeah.
It's
Pretty
really
much.
not. And then it's really good. Like we actually just got season 3 for DVD that we haven't finished watching. My Hero, we've watched everything so far. We do not read the manga, even though I get a lot of the manga spoilers. But we watched the first movie. I don't think we watched the second one yet. Yep. What other shows have we watched? We watched a lot of stand-up comedy. That's probably one of our favorite things to do.
Who's your favorite comic?
I think we're gonna have different answers here.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with the one that I originally saw. I'm gonna go with Bill Engvall. Yeah.
I'm very anti. So I like some of his jokes, but I'm very anti a lot of his.
I don't focus on the videos.
Yeah, you gotta be able to. When it comes to comedians, you gotta be able to separate their views
until they bring them into their comedy.
Yeah, that's
because like he has a song talking about how horrible the Dixie Chicks are because they go against George Bush, and like they were kind of valid on judging George Bush. But like,
that's when you start getting the yikes. But aside from that,
and that's like early Bill Engvall, and the one that I got into later in life, which I found on YouTube, Jeff Dunham. Early Jeff Dunham, not new Jeff Dunham.
For me, I like watching Chris Delaney. I like Patton Oswalt, Jim Gaffigan. I like Kevin Hart. She cannot stand Kevin Hart's stand-up.
Kevin Hart is funny though.
I don't know what it is.
Well, it's more of the stupid funny. You don't like that comedy.
No, it's not even just the stupid funny. I don't know. There's just something about it. Try again. I accidentally got into a conversation with the dude. You know, I like Kevin Hart.
Yeah, because we love Jumanji.
That gives me any props.
See, I like me some good old Gabriel Iglesias. Or
yep, we love Gabe. We love his show. It's not great. I like certain parts of it.
Okay, the first season, great, amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything after that, it just gets worse.
Yeah, it was slow. It was quickly having a downturn after that. Yeah, I think we haven't even finished it. I think we got like 2 or 3 episodes. It did start to go into That's another thing that has actually been really difficult for Crane and I. Actually, for a long time when we were both working at Burn Dairy, that was one of our biggest issues. Is our boss was just so not understanding of our relationship. We kind of do need to see each other at times. So, like, she literally got to the point where she had me working from 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. and Karina would be working 1 to 10.
And you guys work at the same fucking place.
Her thing was, well, me and my sister never see each other because they work at the same place. Like, why is it any different? Literally, like, how can you compare? Exactly. And that's kind of, hi Karina. Oh, you got a cute little. I just expect this to.
I finally popped enough balloons and got the golden shot.
Nice. But yeah, so that was absolute hell. Just to top it off. Karina's mother was over there. Hi, KK.
It's Saturday.
Play the game. But yeah, so her mom was living with us, and she was not afraid to see the it really hurt our relationship for a really long time.
supposed to go from a couple of months to over a year.
Year and a half almost.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, yeah, my living room is a bunch of random
Holy
stuff.
cow, your living room is extra.
Yeah. It's just all the mermaid stuff that I couldn't fit in the basement.
Yeah, so I think that's been probably our biggest issue. And we're recovering from it now. It took literally us resetting.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we had stayed in the place we were previously at, I think we probably would have continued to have issues. Because it just would have never felt like us. Because we never even fully moved in there. Honestly, we had one room was literally just full of boxes we did not unpack.
Yeah, that place was literally just a stepping stone.
Yeah. Where our current house, we've slowly started to. It's been very slow because we work such weird schedules. Because, like, as I'm sure you guys have noticed from my lack of having a consistent stream schedule, comes down to my work. They like to give me a lot of swing shifts, aka I'll work 1 to 10 and then 8:30 to 5:30 and stuff. So it makes it really hard to stream consistently because my sleep schedule is just no. Oh, look, it's a little Jack house or room.
Mm-hmm. I loved the Halloween event.
I think so. Another thing I think that was very weird for both of us when we got together was we had very different. First of all, food preferences. That's, I think, been the weirdest thing for both of us.
That's been the weirdest thing and the most challenging thing to get over and meet the bridges. Because I was raised with a single mom. I lived with my mom and my grandfather. That thing is huge. It's,
sorry.
I think it's the Atlas moth. But I lived with my mom and my grandfather, so I grew up on like Chef Boyardee, frozen meals, steak and potatoes, gravy on everything. Just just a very different lifestyle than what Brian had.
Yeah, because I grew up with an extremely Italian mother, so she was always cooking and stuff. It was not very often we had canned stuff and everything. And I was taught to cook as a kid, so I always knew how to cook. So it was never like, I never had that issue of, oh, how do I take care of myself, which actually ended up helping a lot. What is cooking? Well, Wiz, you know that thing when you become an adult that you actually have to do? Unless you mean, what are we cooking right now? And that is a podcast, which we're all about. But yeah, I think that was another big issue. Like, we still have that issue most of the time. Like, even when we get answer.
Ryan, what's your favorite food?
Okay, are we talking food or like meal?
Let's go with meal.
Probably shepherd's pie. Still, I will always have a particular taste for shepherd's pie. It's always one of my favorite things. It's actually one of the few things that, like, so growing up, as I've said multiple times, I do not have a close relationship with my stepmother. One of the things we always did was for our birthdays we got to choose the meal. And I always wanted shepherd's pie. My mom made a killer shepherd's pie. Not always as good, but I just wanted shepherd's pie. So
For
that
those
was
that don't know, what is shepherd's pie?
so it's ground beef, then some type of vegetables, usually corn, maybe peas or green peppers mixed in, and then potatoes. And it's all baked together. It is delicious. I'll have to make it something for us to be. But food, it's cheesecake. 100%. I would eat cheesecake all the time if I could, because I don't actually eat cake. It's weird. I'm also weird because I don't eat actual pizza, or at least not traditional another thing like Karina and I have kind of had to get over because like she loves to get cans and stuff, and I do not eat cans pizza. And if you're from, I don't like it. Their sauce, I cannot stand their sauce. They don't have enough cheese to their pizza. I actually did not mind when we got pizza though. There was like 2 inches of cheese on that freaking pizza. That's another weird thing for us, and she does not eat a lot of ethnic foods at all. So like, I love tacos. I love to make stir fry. I actually have a wok. That was part of our wedding present for my mother. Is I got a wok. I love to make stir fry, and she does not eat any of that. So it always ends up. If I make it, it's either Jake is out there, or she plans for own meal. We also don't even eat seafood, so I love seafood.
I used to eat, there was this little fish place in Baldwinsville that me and my grandfather used to go to. I used to have fish from there, but one time we got sick, and that just turned me off.
I had Mr. Nice. Last time I had it was hanging out with my dad. I think that was kind of actually another thing that we kind of bonded over, was we both did not have good relationships. Well, at least our fathers. Yours is a complete deadbeat. Mine is a deadbeat to me. I would give my father 100% credit. He's a good dad, just not for me. He has a lot of other kids that he takes care of, most of which aren't even actually his. Like my step-siblings and the adoptive kids me and my stepmother have. He's a good dad to them, 100%. He was young when he had me, which your parents were as well, right?
They were both around 20.
Yeah, so that's why, another thing that I think we actually, that actually kind of transitions well into another thing. Why is the thing me and you get asked most about from everyone?
Yeah.
Why don't we have kids? Because so many people our age, they only get married because they have kids. Both of us agreed we wanted to get married first.
Yeah.
Because it was more so for me it was for a petty reason, if I'm being completely honest. My stepmother is born again Catholic, and her 2 daughters, one of them, my stepsister, had a child out of wedlock. The other one is very proudly lesbian. I love her dearly. But it was just another jab at my stepmother because I'm petty. But it also came down to the reason we even had like our big wedding that we did have was because my grandmother on my dad's side, the woman who raised me, none of my other cousins or anything are married. I'm the only one that is married. So my mom was like, well, you need to make sure at least one of you is married. You're the only one apparently ready for that. So otherwise, Karina and I probably would have had a small ceremony and everything because, yet again, Wiz, I'm not going to have this argument with you again. We didn't know you.
We did not.
Every time I bring up the wedding, he says Alba and I weren't invited.
No,
so.
You weren't even in Oswego.
No,
you were still in CCC.
Yep, I was still over at Cayuga, so I would not have known anybody here. Because Alba, technically, I wouldn't even know. She didn't even go to Oswego the whole time. But yeah, no. So that was kind of the only reason we had the big wedding we did have, and like, both of us completely hated it. Neither of us deal with crowds well. You deal with it better.
Depending on the situations.
Yeah, like when people are coming up talking to you, then you're uncomfortable.
I'm very much, nope, shut it down. So the wedding was very, very just awkward because it was more so a lot of his family came, not mine.
because I have a big family.
Obviously, big Italian family.
Well, that, and I also have a stepmom.
Yes.
Stepdad.
And extended family, where I had very small family that I would even consider inviting. That was just basically the people that I knew. It was just so weird because the wedding is at like the first times that I saw my uncle again, and that was just
we'd
so
only seen
awkward.
him once, which was when your dad showed up randomly Christmas.
That was after.
That was after the wedding. That's
no,
right.
because I think we might have gone to their house
one time and seen him because we had
seen him in
fan.
passing. We had seen him in passing. You had a small conversation with him. I don't think I saw him that day. But anyway, off track. But yeah, it was so much just random people coming up to me at the wedding. And then we had to do the dollar dance.
And everyone wanted to dance with her.
Yeah.
And
literally,
my family is very
hands-on.
Yes, they are very much. They are the lovey type of family.
Where I kind of almost shut down at affection, depending on who you are. Obviously, Brian, I don't shut down at affection, but there are still like quite a few people I shut down in affection. Hence why Gustavo, you don't like see me hugging or handshaking or anything like that. Yes, and I love Tony, but I'm just that person where I need to be fully comfortable in order to show like any sort of affection. Just because that's how my past trauma has affected me.
Which actually, I'm not a big affectionate person, which is probably one of the weirdest things people. Because, like, honestly, people have probably seen us out and not realized that we're a couple, much less married. Because I'm not a fan of, like, I find it gross to see people, like, making out in the middle of public. It literally disgusts me.
Yeah, there's a difference between, like, PDA and borderline, like, groping. And
You've seen both?
I've seen both, and you've seen both, and I was like, no.
So that's kind of where I fall on that, is I don't show affection in a traditional way. As I've stated to so many of my friends, if I'm not messing with you, it means I don't like you. And that is very much like the truth. Because that's just how I am. Growing up, my stepdad, that was how he showed affection. Is he was always picking on us, making jabs, and I learned to kind of cope with that. That's how I dealt, because he knew my trauma was bullying and shit, so he knew the best way for me to deal with it was to learn to fight back. And not the way that I was fighting back beforehand, which was literally getting in fist fights. I was very bad about my aggression issues as a kid. I'll tell that story down the line of me literally choking a kid out for the house. Absolutely hilarious. Yeah, I was a very aggressive kid for a very long time. But yeah, my stepdad, I would give him that. He did help me learn to channel that into a different way. It wasn't all. Our relationship wasn't always good, but he at least helped me deal with that side of it, which was probably the hardest part for me growing up, was learning to take the negativity and the aggression I was getting and put it out in a more positive way. So I think, actually, no, I know. Another thing we kind of grew up very different on was siblings. I've talked about how, like, growing up, I had 6. Growing up, I had 6. I now have 9, soon to be 10 siblings, counting all my step and adoptive. That's not including my in-laws on her side even.
That's not.
You grew up essentially with 2 siblings most of your life.
I was raised as an only child, but I had 2 half brothers. When being an only child, essentially an only child, to having siblings, which was a very just rough transition in itself. Because their relationship was so rushed that it literally threw everybody through. But it was just so weird because I never really had siblings in your traditional sense. So to go from a single child to having siblings and living with them was such an interesting transition looking back on it. So to go from that was kind of interesting, and now bringing in Brian's family, extended family, has been a very interesting experience, learning how to essentially feel different kinds of love. That makes any sort of sense.
I think, yet again, like, so, I know at first she was terrified of me.
Yes.
My mother, as I said, is big old Italian lady.
She is big old Italian.
And she, if she does not like you, she will tell you. She is literally, oh no,
She's
is.
blunt.
It's where I get it.
Yeah.
Very much
Quite
so.
literally.
I am, in a lot of ways, the very spitting image of my mother. Maybe not in all the best ways, because that's where all my objection comes from. But, yeah, no, so, my mom, actually, so, she has liked a lot of my actions. She did not like them for me, was the problem. Because she knew the shit out, or kind of knew the shit out. Didn't know it until after the fact. But, like, when she found out, she's like, she kind of confronted me straight up, and she's like, why are you doing this? I'm like, I legitimately don't know. And, it wasn't until much later that I kind of looked at myself and figured it out. But, yeah, no, so, originally she wasn't actually certain on it for a long time, because she thought it was just another transitional thing for me. A lot of it was.
To be fair, our beginning of our relationship was kind of experimental because we weren't quite sure, not even on each other, but just ourselves. Because I had gone through an very emotional and borderline physical relationship. So I was terrified of it happening all over again, of it just not working out in general, so not getting my hopes up. So it was very experimental for like the first few months. And even his mom, even as I came over, she was kind of looking, kind of like, I remember kind of seeing pity in her eyes, to be quite honest.
But she probably was worried that it
Yeah.
was just going to be
She was worried, and she's like, she didn't say it in so many words, but she's kind of like, don't do it for yourself type of thing. And as our relationship kind of naturally flowed and everything, she started to come around to it. Now, which is what I hope for everybody, that their mother-in-law is great.
Because, like, one she very much sees parts of herself in you, is the past relationship with Serena, spoiler alert, is with us. As is my mother, my aunt, I have a lot of individuals who are with us. So the parallel that my stepmother is such a born-again Christian, while my mother is Wicca, is hilarious.
Because we didn't have your traditional wedding. We had a very Halloween-type wedding, which...
Well, most of our decorations were Funko Pops. Which, if you can't tell behind me, there's a lot of them. I'm actually going to be redesigning the room sooner or later. But
our wedding was very Halloween-y, and just Honestly, seeing your grandmother's reaction was the best part of it.
Seeing my grandmother's reaction. So my mom's technically stepmother, my grandma Donna. Me and her are not on good terms right now. I talked about her last episode. But she loved the wedding scene. She was upset Karina was not in a white dress. She was wondering why there wasn't a priest and everything. But I'm agnostic, so I essentially do not really one way or another in any relationship. I'm open-minded to pretty much everything. I think there's potential for anything to happen. And Karina being Wiccan, I didn't want to do a full Wiccan ceremony because, let's be real, that would have probably ended badly.
Yeah,
but,
would end with a heart attack.
but we did decide to do aspect and not do a traditional wedding. Just that's not but it was an interesting. So, big question. If you could give any piece of advice to, first of all, someone looking for a relationship, cough, cough, I'm adding you, Gustavo.
Putting pressure on me.
What would you give them? Someone looking for a relationship.
That's extremely hard. Because obviously every relationship is different. Every experience is different. Don't look in like the most obvious places. Don't expect them to just fall into your lap.
Or out of their chair.
Or out of their chair. Just keep an open mind because obviously anything can happen. It could be your old high school friend. It could be someone you randomly met on the street. And just be open to anything because obviously life happens. And it happens in the most unusual ways.
The piece of advice I'm going to give is actually a little bit of the opposite. Don't be afraid to mess up something, especially when you're young. Like, don't think about things as, oh my god, this is like the real deal constantly. Because especially when you're young, feelings are gonna change, and it's okay to embrace that. Don't be afraid, because like, Trey and I have actually talked about this, where like, if either of us have a change of feelings, we would want to put them in the front because it'll get to a point where we resent it. And that's just the way it goes. So I think having open and honest discussions, especially about stuff like that, is so important for a relationship, and something most people won't even tell you to think about is something like that, is that a relationship change both for the good and the bad, but talking about it and embracing it is something that that should come naturally. Let me rephrase that. But the world is so hooked on, no, I must make it work, that it gets to the point of desperation, and yet again, that resentment happens. So for me, another big thing is understand. So one phrase I've always said, and I know I shouldn't say it because I know that it actually is not great. Love yourself first, or at least have an understanding of yourself.
No, I agree.
Because for me, I was, as I said, I was not in a good place for a long time, and I just was not ready for a legit relationship. I would act like I was, but I very much was not. And so it came down to me kind of having an understanding of myself. I did not love myself for a very long time, but I understood myself and kind of what I was and what I was doing. I still don't completely love myself. I'm still look at myself as a lot of the mistakes I've made. I know that person is still here, but I have a better way to deal with them. So, don't be afraid to try a relationship, but if you're not, you don't have a kind of at least a good understanding of who you are and kind of, especially what you're trying to get out of it. Because if you're just fucking around and you don't communicate that can lead to a lot of
Yeah, because with me it was the opposite. I was all my life I was looking for an actual relationship. I was looking for love, affection, understanding, the whole 9 yards. I was looking for it, and I always got the short end of the stick with that. And that made me not love myself or understand myself. And with the last relationship that I had, I'm actually kind of on a level grateful for, because it made me understand who I am and helped my current relationship and just being able to live in general. So it's kind of the opposite for both of us. It's pretty much everything.
Yeah, that's, I think, one of the big things is, like, you're not always going to be exactly like you. There are things Trina does I have part in. She loves horror movies. She loves some of the other things that you do that I want no part of. You love horror games, horror movies, anything horror I don't touch.
Anything horror related. Like, right now I'm playing, like, I can't remember what the name is. I'm playing a horror game, and I'm like, you want to try it? He's like, no.
Another thing is she's very much, musically, we are so different. I think the only thing we can agree on is we both love show tunes. Even though there's certain show tunes of mine she wants no part of. She hates anything from Something Rotten, even though that is my favorite musical of all time.
She didn't even get into it
until we got together.
Even though you were in it, Cinderella.
Yeah, I was not actually big on show tunes until Trina and I got together. Which is so weird for anyone who knows me now. They'd probably be like, what? Because Trina will be the first to tell you I am constantly around the house singing and dancing, which is, no, you will never get to hear because I'm monotone as hell. And dancing is just really hard for me nowadays because of my knee injury. So, like, I limit my dancing to only embarrass her. It's probably my favorite thing to do. Just embarrass her, other than nap. I am literally, so, people actually, a lot of our friend group, not the one who saw this, the other one, they call us the group Grandma and Grandpa, because I am literally a grandpa. I sleep all the time. I will fall asleep on a dime. Despite another big issue we have, is I will sleep immediately, and she...
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So I'm up until 4 o'clock.
But yeah, any final questions or thoughts on this topic?
I still haven't heard from the state of food. I want to see the difference in food taste.
Steak and potatoes will always be my favorite. Like, I love pizza and wings, but steak and potatoes, give me a good steak and potatoes any day. With gravy. And I'm set.
Which is where actually we started getting into poutine.
Yes.
We were actually at Comic-Con one year, and we had seen there was a poutine truck out front, and it was good.
I miss that.
But yeah, no. So I think another interesting interesting thing about our relationship, especially kind of now our relationship, is it is very much where we do what parents have a lot of kids do, where we parallel play a lot. We're not always doing stuff together. We're doing stuff next to each other, and still communicating and stuff. That's something we've very much gotten into nowadays, because we're usually playing different things, or if we're playing the same thing, it's not co-op. Like Fire Emblem, that was a big thing for us. So we're parallel playing that a lot.
Or even not just like playing video games. You'll be playing a video game and I'll be coloring or doing my own thing.
Reading your book.
Reading my books. Because honestly, that's just the simplest form of intimacy that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And is honestly, in my opinion, the best form of intimacy.
Yeah, so I think that's where a lot of people have issues with relationships, is they want to go a more traditional route, or they want to look at it as intimacies one shape and form. But like for Karina and I, it's something as simple as, hey, let's play Phasmophobia together. Hey, let's sit. Well, I'll go sit out there while she's watching a movie I don't like or something while I play video games.
Dude, I love just spending time. Like, you don't even have to do shit, though. Just
That's what we were talking about. We were talking about how we parallel play. Essentially.
yeah. So, apparently Rob is here.
Oh shit! I didn't know Rob was going over there. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. So
Neither was I.
I probably have it anyway.
Probably. But is there any other questions, either from you, Gustavo, or from either of the chats to Karina and I? I know Wiz over there, so. Zion or Tom.
I can't really think of much.
I was asking if you had any questions for Karina and I, Wiz. That's all I was asking, sorry.
What do you think the most important thing is?
Communication, simple as that. Whether it's either lack of communication, because that's one of the things I'm actually very notorious for, is I just stop communicating. And that's one of the hardest things for me to understand is, so I'm very because of my past, not the healthiest thing, I know that. I try to do better about it. One of the biggest things is constantly, still to this day, yelling at me for is when I get to the point where I'm losing track of myself and I'm starting to not feel like myself anymore. She very much calls me out on it to make sure I understand, hey Brian, you're not okay right now. Sometimes I'll know and I'll be working on it. Sometimes I don't recognize it, and that's so the even lack of communication is extremely important, because when I'm not communicating, especially if it's been happening for a while, that's no different than actually communicating. I think that's what some people don't understand, is they are kind of the same thing. Communication is not just what's said, but what isn't being said, I think. What do you think is?
Communication is a huge part of it, but I also think understanding is such a huge part of any relationship in general, not just a romantic relationship. Understanding what's going on, understanding where you want this to go, just understanding in general will make everything so much easier. And also asking questions. Because if you don't, you're not gonna understand, or you're not
Well, I've been at least trying to get you. Do you know what? Yet again, my comment is understand yourself first, Gustavo. Understand yourself and understand what you're looking for, and then communicate that. There's my answer for you, Gustavo.
I'm trying real hard.
Wiz, I know you're not looking for a relationship, so I'm not gonna bother messing with you, boy. But with that, we are going. I think that's a good spot to end. What do you think, Gustavo?
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. And, plus the fact that
Rob's over there, and we gotta walk over. But yeah, thank you guys for coming to check out. Thank you, Karina, for coming. I know you don't like being on camera often, so. But yeah, Gustavo, where can people find you?
Alright, so I still don't have my YouTube set up. I still don't have any of my podcast stuff set up. I will have that eventually. I don't know when. I've been busy. But for now, you can find me on Twitter at Real Ender Games. You can find me on Twitch at EnderGames12. What about you, Brian?
Actually, Karina, where can we find you?
That's an interesting question. Where can you find me?
I did this last week too.
I don't know my handles. That's the problem.
I know it's Karina Girl. Something. Well, she looks that up. I'll be
At
fine.
Rena Girl 24. I don't post much, but when I do, maybe surprised.
Yeah, that's on Twitter. Then for me, it's twitch.tv/Hawkeye _ 57 or Hawkeye 57 _ 57. Twitter at Hawkeye 57 _. And then YouTube, I did just start my YouTube. You can look it up as Hawkeye Gaming. You can also find the link to my YouTube in the Twitch chat with the command YouTube. So, yet again, thank you guys for coming, hanging out. We appreciate you guys, and we will talk to you later.